Welcome back to Get Up. We are here and we are so excited to reveal Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. Mel put a new one out yesterday and we are so excited to share it with you this morning, including some of the highlights being 2 quarterbacks selected in the first round. Fernando Mendoza goes first, but what's not on the board here, Mel's got Alabama's Ty Simpson going 21st to the Steelers. He's also got Notre Dame star running back Jeremiah Love going 9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. The last time Kansas City picked in the top 10 was 2017. That year, they traded up for a player named Patrick Mahomes. We welcome in the great Mel Kiper Jr. Mel, you watch all the tape. You talk to everybody in the league. Mendoza still number 1 on your list, but I want to take it somewhere differently. Who does Fernando Mendoza remind you of when you go through the archives and all of your years watching the game?
Peter, I'm not the comp king, Matt Miller is, but I'll give you a couple. Matt Ryan, okay? How about Matt Ryan coming to the Atlanta Falcons out of Boston College? Same year Joe Flacco came out of Delaware to the Baltimore Ravens. But Matt Ryan, certainly. I think Peyton Manning, you see a little Peyton in Fernando Mendoza. He's so poised. He's so smart. He was going to go to Yale. He's so accurate to all levels. Late in plays, he makes great decisions. Run, throw it away. Find that 4th, 5th option. Coming through in the clutch when it doesn't go his way. The toughness. How about that hit against Ohio State to come back from that? Dealt with adversity at Cal. Was sacked 41 times. Improved on that at Indiana. I don't know how anybody can not like Fernando Mendoza. And for Raider Nation, be thrilled you got the number 1 pick and there's a quarterback like Mendoza in this draft.
He really did show it in the biggest of moments. And yet, Neek, you hear that name Peyton Manning thrown around, and I have to imagine you take a double take when you hear that.
Yeah, I just want to know what specifically he sees. Is it about the leadership? Is it about the personality? Is it about the arm strength? Like, Peyton Manning kind of revolutionized the position in some ways in running the game from the line of scrimmage. So if you're looking at a guy, I wouldn't say it's a gulf between Manning and Matt Ryan, but they're different types of players to me. So what about Mendoza makes you see a little bit of Peyton?
Well, keep in mind, Deke, when Peyton Manning came out, there were guys in the league that were telling me if his name was Peyton Jones, it'd be a 3rd-round pick. He throws wobbly balls, no arm strength. He's overrated. His name's Matt. If his name, let's say, was Peyton Jones, we'd have him in the 3rd round. So everybody loved him now. Remember, at that point in time, half the league liked Ryan Leaf better because he had better traits, okay? Yeah. Big, strong-arm guy. Carried Washington State to the Rose Bowl, all that. So everybody just revisionist history on Peyton Manning coming out. Mendoza is an underrated athlete. What did Manning do? Manning could have at times beat you with his legs when he was young. You think about the arm. Mendoza doesn't have a rocket. Peyton Manning certainly didn't. Mendoza throws a better ball than Peyton Manning. He's incredibly smart. He's incredibly instinctive. He's the first one in the building. He wants to crack the code. He's got a lot of those traits of Peyton Manning. Matt Ryan, wasn't going to wow people over. Remember, that was the draft where Bill Parcells passed on Matt Ryan to take Jake Long and took Chad Henne in the 2nd round, right? So all this revisionist history from quarterbacks, we go back to the real time when they were picked. There was a lot of skepticism about some of these guys that turned out to be great.
Mel, I think that's a great way to put this because, yes, it was Ryan Leaf for Peyton Manning, and Manning goes and visits the Colts, and he tells Bill Polian it'll be the greatest mistake you ever made if you pass on me. They take him. Ryan Leaf goes 2 to the Chargers. There is no Ryan Leaf in this conversation this year. There's a great canyon between Mendoza and the 2nd prospect based on what everyone's saying. But you do have Ty Simpson mocked to the Steelers at 21. Give us a little Ty Simpson talk and why he is the clear-cut number 2, but not even in the same conversation as Mendoza.
Peter, when we were talking in mid-October, even in the mid-November, there were those that thought that Ty Simpson was the top 5 pick and would challenge Mendoza to be QB1. Then he had 5 straight games with a fumble lost, right? He had some struggles. He obviously had a fumble against Indiana when he was hit by D'Angelo Pons. Cracked rib, couldn't go to the Senior Bowl, which he wanted to. Now he's going to be at the Combine. So Ty Simpson will let it rip. Okay, he made some clutch throws in a lot of games. He had a bad offensive line. He had receivers. Ryan Williams didn't play up to the level expected. He had no running game at all, yet he was out there battling. Now, sometimes he's too competitive. He won't let a play die. He's got to improve on that. But if you're Pittsburgh at 21, you can't worry about next year's draft. You're not going to be picking 1, 2, or 3 to get those elite quarterbacks, right? So McCarthy comes in, he gets Ty Simpson at 21, and now you move forward with a guy who, like I said, has a good skill set. I wish he had more starts than 15, but he did play in a lot of games, but only 15 starts is a bit of a red flag, but I still think he goes at this point in the 1st round.
Still not in the top 20, J-Mac.
Yeah, exactly, and I look at this, and I think for the Pittsburgh fit, you look at Kenny Pickett was there a few years ago, and they drafted him 20th, and that didn't per se work out the way that they intended it to. So now you're going back, and he's talking about Simpson, and he's saying with only the 15 starts. What I do like what Mel is saying is that a lot of people keep talking about next year's draft. For the people there, you can't guarantee that you're going to be there next year to pass on players that you think and feel can help you now, or players that you can develop that are going to be starters for you in the future. So for the Steelers, for McCarthy, if you're looking at Ty Simpson, and you say, you know what, I like the traits that this guy showed us in his 15 starts. I love the way he competes. I think he can come in here and earn a starting spot and really develop in our organization. Then you pull the trigger. But Mel, I would even ask you, as Ty Simpson, everybody's going over and they're looking at him, how do you see all these other quarterback-needy teams passing on him for him to get to 21?
Yeah, the Jets would be the team, Jason. I think they have to consider him, but they have needs other places, obviously. I'll go back to Ty Simpson and say, well, who does he compare to? Say Mac Jones. Mac Jones had 17 starts coming out of Alabama, right? Mac Jones, you know, you look at him now and you say, hey, pretty good, right? He had a really good rookie year with Josh McDaniels. They changed things, didn't go well. Now with the 49ers, everybody wants him, right? Well, guess what? I think Ty Simpson's a faster, more athletic Mac Jones. I'd like to see a little up his weight. We'll see at the combine. Is he around 215? Mac Jones was 217. They're both in that. Mac Jones was 6'2.5", Ty's 6'2". So that weight, if it's up to 215, will be a good thing for Ty Simpson to relieve some of those doubts about him only being at 200, 205, 208.
Yeah, and I look at the Steelers in particular here, Mel. We don't know if we're going to get back Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what they think of Howard necessarily. They did pass on Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck, though, with the 21st pick last year and took a defensive tackle instead.
Yes, and they could here too, and that could put them in the Sean McVay, L.A. Rams area in the late first round as the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. I think the Rams would probably like to see that happen. You know, when he gets into the second round, who knows? It can happen there. Tyler Shuck went in the second round to and Shador dropped to the fifth round. You never know what's going to happen, but I do think at 21, if you're the Steelers, and the Kenny Pickett, Ty Simpson, to me, is better than Kenny Pickett. And I think if you looked at him, like I said, in mid-November, all the way to mid-November, guys, he was 22 touchdowns and only 2 picks. And he made a lot of clutch throws behind, like, say, a bad offensive line and no running game, okay? That's a lot to deal with from a negative standpoint to still play at a pretty high level.
All right, for the viewers at home, Fernando Mendoza will not be competing in any of the combine drills, but as of now, which is Tuesday morning, Ty Simpson will. We will see him throw on Saturday. We'll get the full menu of what he can do. Coming up, the Dallas dilemma. Cowboys have a decision to make. Are they setting themselves up for another offseason of chaos? Plus, will we see more yellow flags in the NFL? The league is considering making a huge change. You'll hear what it is, and we'll talk about it next.
Don't fire at me.